This is a Party Center Software webinar with your host, Scott Drummond.
All right, welcome. You are now on with Party Center Software. My name is Scott Drummond, and we are going to be going over basically the 5 most, I think, poignant and critical online booking mistakes that you can make. Now, this is whether you're doing it through our Party Center software or anywhere. This is pretty much just marketing and promotion 101, but there's some key components in here that we'll go through. So these are the 5 mistakes we're going to go over today. Number 1 is that you don't let the customers know you have it. That is, to have online booking or have the ability to do it. 2, you don't upsell during the online booking process, which is pretty important. And 3, you don't show pictures or provide detail. That's the key component to that upsell part. 4, you throw everything you can at them, and I'll explain that. And then 5, you don't upsell after the fact. And what's interesting about this one is it doesn't have anything to do with online booking, but I'll show you some of the key components we've learned not only in my own family entertainment center that I ran, but also in all the consultants that we deal with. They all have part of this as their process, that follow-up and kind of upsell after the fact. So mistake 1, you don't let the customers know you have it. The biggest thing I find is that when people start online booking, they will have a tiny little link somewhere to show that tiny little link somewhere to show them, hey, you can book here. And when really you need to have it everywhere. And my suggestion is any place you have a phone number, an email, a contact, or a price, you need to have that link available and shown. For instance, you can go on like Putting Edge, right? And they've got birthday parties right here, and you can go and select a location and find one, you can go to it. And when you go inside there, you'll be able to see the links for all the online booking, right? Book now, book now, book now. Now, these actually take them right into the system to book, and you can book right into these individual ones if you wanted to. We actually, in our system, have a feature to go directly to these individual party types so the customer can go in and upsell them. So you can go through, and it's got all the bells and whistles. So they make it really quick, really simple to find. If you were to go to the Contact Us page, we always recommend on there that you put a link for booking. So they don't have one on here, but that's also because they have multiple locations. But typically right in here next to this phone number, I would put a link that says, hey, book party now. Because people, where do they go to find your phone number, right? They go to the bottom of the page or your Contact Us page to send you an informational email. You also here, if you ever have a contact form, same concept. Don't let them fill this out and request a party. Make them go online to actually do the true online booking process for that. Other places like Incredible Pizza Company, right? So you can go like to their Springfield location, and you'll go to birthday parties, right? And then inside there, you'll be able to book your party today. So there's a link right there, right on the front of the page. And then as you go in, there's another link. Well, notice there's a link up top. There's a link right here. They're going to continually pound that in as you go through because they want to make sure that you can book at any time. So you can book through, and you can add all kinds of links to it. Also, when you're showing the different birthday party packages, I typically like to, if we go back to Putting Edge's example, some people will have theirs like this. Some people have them vertical, and they'll explain everything. Up here will be number 1, and they'll have a price, right? I always like to have a text link as well next to the price that says, click here to book. Because some people see a button or they see a banner and they don't quite understand, what is that? I don't know what that is. But then they see the words, click to book. Oh, okay, I'll click here. So the more you kind of beat them over the head with, hey, you can book, the better off you're going to be. So no notification on your voicemail about online booking. Well, when we first did online booking many years ago, we changed our voicemail, and the first thing we said is, thanks for calling, Bounceopolis Family Fun Center. did you know you can book your party 24 hours a day online? And the amount of people that hung up on that first 10 seconds of our voicemail process before they could get to somebody was huge at that point. And we just had a flood of online bookings because people sometimes don't realize. So put it on your voicemail notification, put it on your signature of your email, and all that kind of stuff. Then also on your promotional materials, right, offline, you can put right on your brochures, because you all are going to have brochures and different things right on there. Click to book online, guaranteed booking 24 hours a day. You need to make people understand that this is a guaranteed slot. This isn't a suggestion, a possibility. It's guaranteed, locked in. You're getting this spot. And then there is a misnomer. A lot of people think, well, people want to talk to me and people want to do this, and it is true. With online booking, we always consider it a little bit different. It isn't the end of the process, it's the start of the process. It's just like the customer raises their hand and says, you know what, I like a party and I'd like it on Saturday at 1 o'clock. And then we go, great, we'll pencil you in or pen you in or mark you down. You got that spot. It's guaranteed. But let's start the process. Let's start the sales process. So let's move on. Mistake number 2, you don't upsell during the online booking. Pictures are worth 1,000 words. So here's an example of I just threw together something, but it basically, there's not even a logo in the upper left-hand corner. There's no text on here to describe anything. This is an online booking option where you'd click from your website. There's nothing in here to say, click this, click that, here's how you can move forward. There's no upsell of multiple packages. And then this kind of ties in. 2 and 3 are pretty much tied together. You don't show pictures of specific detail. There's a lack of pictures, a lack of emotional excitement. I always say pictures are worth $1,000, you know, because they kind of people go, oh, it's worth 1,000 words. No, it's worth $1,000 in the sense that I've seen many times people put terrible descriptions of products, but a great picture, and people will buy that all day long. An awesome picture of, you know, tasty pizza. Oh yeah, but I'm gonna buy that. I know what that is. I don't even need to look at the description. I know that's a pepperoni pizza. That looks good. I'm gonna buy that. But if you put a bad picture or no picture and a description that's you know, there's no emotional excitement. You don't evoke any emotion, and so that's really something you need to do. And then descriptive text to kind of tie it all together. So here's some examples. There's no pictures, right? Package B, no description provided. You know, silver package, 15 team member. What does that mean? What are we doing? You know, so you have no idea what any of those things are. Some of the other things would be to use clear images, not blurry ones. You know, some suggestions I've always made: go to the local community college, go to the photography department, the art department, and say, hey, why don't you guys, for a portfolio, come shoot my place, come shoot my food, and they get to have it, and they get to have portfolio. You know, it's not as maybe cool as maybe doing a model shoot, but it's realistic, right? That's what they're going to do in the real world, is shoot business photos and business type stuff. So you can get them to come in and do it, and often do it for free. Or if you find out if you have a staff member who's a photo bug, they'll take tons of their own time and have fun doing it and get you really good product pictures. The other side of it is any of your vendors are going to have pictures as well. So if you use any vendor, just hit them up. They're going to have professionally done photos of finished food. Just make sure that food or those upsell items, you know, like from the Sure Shot or Redemption Plus or Fun Express, those companies have those pictures. Most of those, when we help tell customers, we literally just steal them right off their website. Now, you have to do it with permission, but if you sell their product, they don't care if you use their pictures. When I was doing it, I'd just right-click, save the image, and upload it into our software, and I'd use most of the time their description, because they know how to sell it best. So put them in there, do it well, make sure that you're really providing crisp, clear pictures, information, and here's where you're actually upselling customers' product. So once they've committed to the package that they want, you want to upsell them cakes, pizzas, goodie bags, and really go after some of the things that are higher dollar items. You know, some paintball places will sell a full brand new paintball gun and all this stuff, and they'll include it as, you know, for $300 in the package. Doesn't get bought very often, but it reminds people, oh, that's right. One example is a laser tag place. Laser Quest, they were using our system, and before they used it, they had these buffalo wing platters, and everybody knows what buffalo wings are, with different sauces, and the numbers escape me as far as the exact details, but I remember them come up and saying, well, before the system, in the last month, we probably sold 5 or 6 platters total, right? Because they're like $30 or $40. And once we got Party Center software, we put the picture of them and the description, and we sold 2 or 3 dozen in the first week because people said, oh, I had no idea you had. I definitely want some of those. So putting a picture on here with a description can evoke people to purchase items and remind them, oh, you have something. Now, the key with this example that I'm giving now is that the images and the descriptions that are put on there are meant to remind them and even encourage them to purchase. Now, you're not always going to get someone to purchase right then and there, and that'll lead us into one of our final mistakes when we get into it. But they're not always going to purchase right at the point of reference or right at the point of where they're provided these upsell options. You can group these options, put all the pizzas together, put all them, and make sure having 2 options is really not sufficient. I would say 15, 10, 15, 20 options is really kind of consistent with a company that has a lot of good options. If you don't have that many upsell items, then you need to consider adding more. And then also itemize your, like if you have a glow-in-the-dark party, well, guess you better have some glow-in-the-dark add-ons that are first and foremost primary to sell. If you've got a certain bowling theme or a certain type of theme, princess theme, go get the dollar princess tiaras from one of your vendors and sell them for $3, and you will be surprised at how fast those go through the roof. Not just at the point of online booking, but also at the point in the facility when people remember back. Oh, that's right, they had those. I remember that. So we'll get to that in a minute here. Now, kind of turning it, throw everything you can at them, right? That's a mistake. You don't want to give them 8 million options, right? You shouldn't have 65,000 things on that menu, especially if they're unrelated to what you're selling. You want to make sure that you've got the items that really focus in and highlight and that are your top sellers. So if it's a glow-in-the-dark, you go after all those glow-in-the-dark bracelets, hats, all that stuff, the things you can pick off real easy and people will add it. One of the psychological things with online booking, and I don't know why it is this way, I just know it's true, is that people, when they purchase online, they completely forget about it. They know they did it. They know they're going to have to pay for it. But if I buy 2 pizzas online, when I show up at the facility and I have to buy, quote unquote, 1 more pizza, I'm just buying 1 pizza. They kind of forget that, no, I'm really buying 3 pizzas. If you told them buy 3 pizzas, they would be, nope, not going to buy 3 pizzas. That's way too many. But they already bought 2. Now they're just buying 1 more pizza or 1 more item or 1 more thing. So getting them to lock down items online actually will significantly increase the revenues that you can produce, because they're not, until they get to the end and they see the bill, then they go, oh yeah, that's right, I did buy 3 pizzas and 25 game cards and 30 goodie bags, and that's where you can do that. So don't make the online booking confusing where the customer is too many options, too many things. Or if you do have a lot of options, like some of the incredible pizza companies or the putting it, they've got 3 or 4 or 5 or even 10 options of parties that you can choose from. They'll actually create a very easy matrix on their website that just says, which one do you want to pick? And when you click it, it goes right into Party Center software, right into that product, right to sell them. That way, they don't have to sift through 10 different options online going, I don't know what to choose. Like, I don't understand. So make sure you walk that through your website, that you have a nice, easy matrix, or you're always wanting to sell the top product first, right, the most expensive product first, because that's your premium product, and then you can kind of go down and sell the lower-end products. Having hundreds of items on the screen, it's going to confuse them. So fine-tune that. No sense of order or placement of those items. Putting a pizza at the top of the list and a pizza at the bottom. You want to group items that are similar together so they can make an informed decision on those particular products that they're looking for. 5. This is the 5th And kind of final mistake here that we're going to go through. We have one bonus one, and then what we'll do is we'll take some questions, and you guys feel free to ping in. But this one is a huge one. You don't upsell after the fact. Every time in our software, we have the ability, some of you know this, to do checklists. And so we have a checklist that comes up if and only if they book an online event. The checklist says quick callback, or we set it up at my facility like that. You can set it up however you want. And that reminds our staff to quickly call them back, whatever that means, that day, the next day, whatever we can. And that quick callback allows us to then ask them, hey, Miss Jones, I saw you book last night. This is what you're getting. This is what's going on. This is when we'll see you. By the way, did you have any questions about our add-ons or any of the any of the items that you can add to your party? And remember back to that Laser Quest example of the buffalo wing platters. Was the very question they asked. And one of the ladies, the mom, said, well, yeah, I saw you guys had buffalo wings, but they're entirely too spicy, right? So I don't think we can get them. And the party booker went, well, you do know we have a honey glaze, right? Oh, I had no idea you had honey glaze. That's not spicy at all. It's super sweet. Oh, then in that case, let's add 2 platters or 1 platter. And there's a $40 add-on every time you add one of those. So the key is to follow up with that follow-up call, because you're going to remind them as it lets that sink in. Oh, that, and the kid's asleep half the time because it's 9 or 10 or 11 o'clock at night, or it's in the middle of the day when the kid's at school and the mom's booking during her lunch period. She can identify those products and then get with the kid or whoever, and hey, do you want to add this? What do you think about these goodie bags? Would you like princess tiaras for all your friends? I would. And that reminds them, oh, that's right, she did want princess tiaras. So that's where we want to make sure we can give those add-ons. Here's a bonus mistake I just threw in there. You don't take a deposit online. That's a big one. You can't seal the deal without a deposit. The parent feels less certain, like, is this really, did I really get it? Because I didn't have to, like, commit or do anything. What should I do? So take a deposit online, whether it's small or large. That's all dependent on your type of facility and what you want to do. I typically recommend between $25 and $100. My facility was at $75. I like the number that's just high enough to get those people to say, okay, I'll put it down, but not high enough to where they go, well, I'll just walk away from it. I don't really care. It's not enough, money for me to be concerned, because you want to lock them down. So always take a deposit, and then that way when you call them back, they're locked into your facility. Now, if you guys do have any questions, feel free to enter those questions into the system, you can send chats or questions right through here if you have any questions about particular parts of the online booking or anything like that. We have one that asks about product-based deposits as well to guarantee food orders. That's a good question. So in our system, let's say you want to book a party and you have a $50 deposit. Well, when we used to do cakes, all of our cakes were custom ordered. So we had to get a bakery to make them and put little Johnny's name on it, and that would cost us some money. So in our software, we can actually force deposits through the system. So the cake, if you bought a cake, instead of having a $50 deposit, you now have to pay us, a $100 deposit, because it's an extra $50 or whatever. I think our cakes were $35 or something like that. So let's call it, it's an $85 deposit instead of a $50 deposit. So you can force each and every, and she bought 2 cakes, there would be 2 deposits. So in our system, you can force deposits, and it's a great way for you to basically make sure you get paid for items. Or like some of our smaller locations don't necessarily want to stock 1,000 of these, I call them junk, but all the little knickknacks from all the stuff that people buy, all the plush toys and all these things that you can buy. So they don't buy any of them, and they have a lead time that they say you can't buy these products unless you have 2 weeks notice, right? And so our software, you can again say you can buy this product, but you have to have 2 weeks in notice or 1 week notice or 5 days. And let's say you don't want to stock those princess tiaras, but somebody books it online. our system will notify you that they purchased them. You can quickly call up the vendor, say ship them over, and you could have forced the customer to prepay for them or pay a deposit on them. And then that way you can provide product without having to go out and really put all your money on the line. One of the other questions here is, what if two people book online parties at the same time slot? How do you handle double booking? Well, that's a good question. You don't really handle double booking because it doesn't occur. The way our software works in Party Center software is the first one to click the button wins. The very first, yeah, I want to book it, I want to lock it in. So, if two people were to click that right at the beginning saying, yeah, I want 3 p.m., yeah, I want to book it, it's going to kick one of them out and say, oop, somebody already got this, and it's going to refresh. They'll see that slot's been gone, and they'll be able to go through. Now, if that one person that was booking doesn't finish, 45 minutes later we'll flush it and they can come back and book it. So there really is no way to double book in our system. So let's see, there's some other questions. Is there a way to make the boxes with the add-ons uniform size? Yeah, you can control some of that with your pictures. We're working on actually having what we call snippets. So there is actually snippets as well on the product description, so you can have like a shorter description. So I'm not sure how many people use that feature, but here's like an example of Putting Edge where you can go through and search their availability, and it'll actually show you all the descriptions. One of the things too that you don't want to do on these descriptions is to say includes everything above or in the basic package plus blah blah blah, because I don't want to have to reference the basic package to figure out what this party is. Plus, it makes it look smaller, right? You got 10 things in the basic package and only 3 in the ultimate, plus the 10 things. So put them all in there. Give it the full gusto and let them see all these pictures. Let them see all the descriptions, what's going on. And you can see here, right? So there's my ultimate packages first, then my less expensive, then my value package. So they've positioned these to make sure that their most expensive comes up first, and they can go through and choose that package, and put the minimum guest counts in and those kind of things. Now, it's not going to let me book because I didn't give enough time. I'm trying to book for 6 p.m. tonight, and it tells me that there's an availability in case I want to call the facility, but you would have to book out in advance in order to be able to choose those slots. So as you go through and you look at like this example, and we confirm, and we could have upsold additional packages here if we had them, and then from here you can see, so they've got coins and add-ons and pizzas and those kind of things, and so they do a good job of adding their descriptions and different details. So there's also policies on here as you go through where you can, in the online booking, where you can put policies. So that was a question, should I have a policy? Some people have like food policies. You can't bring food. You can bring food. You must be such and such an age. In our software, each and every party type can have its own policy. So you can specify, such as a laser tag, must be 7 years old or older to play laser tag. Well, if you book the laser tag package, our software will throw that policy in there if you request that, right? If you're booking the go-kart, it's going to say no loose clothing, and you must be 12 years of age, or whatever the go-karts are. So with the system, you can actually change the policies that are required or that show up based on the type of event that they're booking. One other question, I like to control the descriptions for the guests and children in the OBM. So like you can call them guests or children, but you can call them people as well. You actually control what you call them. So some people in laser tag would say like players or laser tag players. So instead of calling them children or adults or guests or players, you can change those labels up in our system so that the people feel like they're, and that's per package. So if you're buying a laser tag package, it'll say, I've got a laser tag party and I want to have 10 laser tag players instead of 10 guests or 10 people, or and if I'm in a little kid soft play, I can say I want to have 10 children under the age of 14. Right, because that might be your label you want to put on it. So there are options for you to do that. Here's a question in here. Let's see, it looks like it's related to paintball. Can I pay, where is that, deposit? Paintball, Can you collect a $100 deposit for every 10 players or less? Right now, online, I can only get one choice. It's the way that our software works is there's a deposit, right, on the event. So if you've got 10 players or less, you can say there's a $100 deposit. And so if you're talking about every 10 players, the system doesn't know that it's every 10 players, but there are options for you in the system. If you wanted to have a deposit, you could potentially change to what we consider an event package, and that would actually let you add, a package event, and it would let you add individual products, and you could technically probably take up a deposit per player. So it would kick in a deposit every time a person would if you have 11 players, it's going to take that much. So it doesn't have a X deposit per 10 players, but you could either do a one deposit to the entire event, regardless of guest count, or you could potentially have a product in there if you change the packages that would actually let you charge a per person or per product deposit, which is kind of what we talked about with if I bought a princess tiara, I need a $1 deposit so I can buy it, per one that you want. Can you link a photo to a larger image or a pop-up enlargement? One of the things that we're doing is letting you add multiple pictures. I'm not sure where that is in the system yet, but we actually have the ability to add multiple pictures and different size pictures. What we have is like more detail. So I'm not sure if that's been pushed out to have a larger image, but you definitely you can control the image sizes and put different size images that you want in there as well. See. How are we notified when someone books online? That's a good question. Our software actually notifies you when people book online. You just go into the system and set that notification up, and we can walk you through that. There's a whole part in the system where you specify, I want it to go to these addresses and emails. So the software can instantaneously email one or many people when there's an online booking or online storefront instantly. I actually used to have it go to my cell phone until my wife got upset because all through the night my cell phone would go ding, ding, ding because I'd have it text me. And so she finally said, turn that thing off. So I turned it off, because obviously people are booking all through the night, so it's going to continually ping you and tell you that. So let's see if there's a couple more questions here. Sometimes we need to add an attachment to an email where you send a customer, but we were unable to do so. We are working on adding attachments. The problem when you add an attachment is it increases the likelihood of getting it spammed. But what you can do, especially if it's a static document, which most people use static documents that they want to attach to their emails, what you can do is just take that and upload it kind of on your web server somewhere and just use the link, like for liability waivers if people have old, handwritten liabilities and aren't using our digital ones, or if they want to do policies and procedures, you can definitely do that in the system. What you typically do is just upload it to your website or to some document and just use the link in the email. And that way you can just copy the link and they can download it, and it eliminates the need for, it eliminates the need to have an actual attachment against it. Let me see. We have a package that are on specific days. Does the system give you the ability to show more packages one day and not the other? We have packages that are on specific days. I'm not sure if I exactly understand that question, but what our software does is you specify the days and times you want packages. So if you have like the weekday package, that's only available Monday through Friday. Right? If you have the weekend package, that's only available Saturday, Sunday. Then you've got your extended hours weekend package, but that's only available as the last party of the night at 9 o'clock at night. So 9 o'clock Saturday, 9 o'clock Sunday, you can extend it for 2 hours and to extend it, but none of the other parties can get extended because of your rotation. So yes, you can have multiple packages on multiple days. The way the software works is, let's say you have 5 party rooms and all 5, let's say you start at the exact same time, 10 o'clock in the morning. Our software would only show one 10 a.m. event for that party type. So it would say party type A, 10 o'clock's available. Well, really, there's 5 of them available, but we're only showing one. So there's a lot of things you can do. So yeah, that you can show as many packages or as many event options as you want on as many days as you want. You can also have hidden ones that are not available online. For me personally, I allowed certain group sizes to book online, and then once they reached about 20-ish, depending on what type of group it was, they could no longer book online. They would have to call me because I would want to talk to them and walk them through that process. So that makes sense. Yeah, another question here from Loretta Ryan is there a place to put an online party invitation that could customize a download or email to the party goers? That was kind of in line with you can upload that to your website, right? And then you can use the link. Usually people do like a PDF. You can actually do customized PDFs now. People can type right on them and edit and then print them. So you can do that definitely, and like we said, we definitely recommend you upload yours to your website or some document storage or Google Drive, and then you can share that link right on the email, and people can click on it and download it and use it. Just because it's on your website does not mean it needs to be publicly seen. It can be a hidden file that you have to know exactly how to get there. So let's see if there's some other questions. So we did the notification. So it says, can I pay Party Center software to make the online book process look more desirable to the customers? That's a good question. So basically, like right here, this is Putting Edge, right? So we've custom themed Putting Edge to look identical to their website. Same thing with America's Incredible Pizza. These are custom OBM themes to look identical to their website. So yeah, we actually do have, you can actually you can flip through our defaults. We got a bunch of default options that you can flip through and just choose and see what they look like. Different ones for bowling and roller skating and all that. And if you want the software, our software, to look identical to your website, you can definitely do that. You just call us and let us know, and we can get you scheduled in and let you know what that's going to cost and what's entailed. But it's a pretty simple process. We just go through and copy your website, literally make it look verbatim. The other thing to think about as well is that, like with Putting Edge, they actually have, it's puttingedge.com, so it's not even actually our URL. It literally is their website. So it looks like theirs, it is theirs. Most of the time people will just use what's our typical, one of our URLs that we provide for free, so that way they don't have to pay any of the extra fees in order to do it. But there are options for you to have your own URL as well. If you don't know what that means, then you probably don't need it. But if you're real particular about making sure you're on the same quote-unquote website, we can definitely do that. Let me see if I can see some one of the questions was, how does an online booking customer get an invoice? That was a good question. Basically, the system automatically generates an email, and it ships them as basically an HTML email with no attachments. That way it doesn't get spammed out, and it just ships them right to it, and it looks identical to basically the invoice that you would print for them, with a little bit of extra verbiage on it, just saying that, hey, print this for your records. It's got all your policies and procedures and all that stuff that's on there that you would want to put on there for them to see. So let's see if there's a couple more questions. Is there a way to automatically email or remind a customer for the upcoming event? Not currently in the system can you automatically email and remind, but through the system you can actually go in and send individual emails as you go through. Most of the time, too, we recommend that follow-up call, right? So there's a call right after they book, but there's typically a call 2-3 days before, and that's, for me, was one of the most important phone calls we made, because that typically was when the mom was getting ready to get settled into her party and what she was willing to spend on it. And she would then come and say, okay, yeah, now I want 3 pizzas, and I want this, and I want that. And we could typically kind of, hey, are you sure you don't want to bump to that next package level, because it looks like you'd be better off, and we're giving a deal or whatever our promotion was to try to get them to that next level. So you can, while you can email them, and send it off, it doesn't automatically do it currently, because typically our customer would do a call to the customer to verify and try to upsell. And here's another good one. Is there a way to do a coupon code for the online booking to be able to offer discounts. There is a custom setting in here that we can do. You can submit a help ticket, and we can help you with that. We do them customized one-off, so where people can ask, and we can put any kind of question you want onto the system and say, you know, I want pizza. What type of pizza do I want? Cheese, pepperoni, or sausage? And so we can put those questions. Those questions are then displayed on the invoice on the management side in the notes field for the staff members to execute on. So there's a lot of, there is some options with that where you can put coupon codes and they can enter them in, and then you guys can do whatever it is you do with them on the management side. Let me see. Can I trigger separate checklist items based on a party being booked online? We kind of talked about it a little bit earlier. So we have checklists that basically get created automatically when products are added or when parties are booked, and their checklist is to remind you to do something. So like at my center, we had what we called the quick callback. So it'll, when people book online, and only when they book online, it added a quick callback checklist item, and we could see what employee clicked that button, validated, they called them back, and actually took care of it. So you can do that to see, is your process working? Because when a customer came in or called, we're already talking to them. We don't need to call them back. But to the online booking, we had to call them back. That was critical. So we need to make sure that happens. So can you have different add-on or options showing based on the party package chosen? We talked about that a little bit as well. Yeah, you can, that was part of the thing. If you have a laser tag package, you want to have laser tag add-ons and vice versa. So you can do that to make sure that you're focusing in on the types of parties that you're selling so that people can see it. Let's see if there's a couple more questions. If you guys have a couple more questions, go ahead and put them in there. We want to change our part. Let's see. We get in your system. We changed our party form. We want to know if we'd be able to add verbiage so it's very specific and there's no confusion. That's a good one. So basically, is there a way to have verbiage or details in here? And yeah, that's one of the mistakes people don't use. We have them, and they're called text sets. And basically, a lot of people don't use them, but they basically, at the top of every single page is let's see, is a text set that basically lets you pick your products, and it'll actually go through and tell you, hey, you're on this page, you should consider doing this. I'm trying to see if we even have the text sets turned on this one. Doesn't look like we do. But what it would be is up top, up here, there would be a whole subsection of details that you could put on there and basically say, hey, this section is what you need to add, add product on. If you have questions, please let us know. So there's all kinds of text sets. Yeah, so it's not turned on for the current sites, but you can turn it on yourself. So every page, even the intro page, when you first come in, it'll say, hey, welcome to our site. Please click continue to move forward. And now you're on the page that chooses your date and time. Please click this, click that. You're in the part that's, upselling you, for more products. Hey, don't forget, to add as many products as you want. So there's definitely ways for you to have verbiage very specific to your process, right? And even details. I put my policies in that section as well. Don't forget, you need to wear socks. You must have a liability form signed. You must do this. You must do that. You can't be over or under this age. So there's a lot of things in the system that you can control, and add in and do. So let's see if there's any last questions here before we sign off. Can a regular customer create an account to log in, save their info, and avoid entering and creating duplicate entries? That's actually a good one. Yeah, they actually can. If you get our waiver system, or if you want, we can turn it on, but you can actually create unique accounts. Some of them you can see it in and some of you can't. These ones don't have those waivers turned on, but there's a login button, and it'll actually force them into a single account, and that they can continually log in, check their accounts, check what's going on, check their children or guests of honor that they've attached. So yeah, there's definitely ways that you can create a single account to where people can get on. So here's another good question. Sometimes guests want to change their party package after they left the deposit. Are they able to do that online? Currently, they're not. We're definitely working on that. With the accounts page, we have a lot more control. One of the the problems that you run into when you let customers do stuff is they're not that smart and they're going to screw stuff up. So we have to really make sure we control it and make sure that they don't do the wrong things at the wrong time. So there's some additional control mechanisms we have to put in place so that you can protect, because if somebody goes last minute and starts changing certain products like cake that we ordered from an outside vendor, that would really mess us up, because we have a very strict procedure where you've got to order 5 days in advance, and then we go and pick it up. We can't just have them slide and change their cake order with 2 days left, and then we'd need to know they changed it anyways. Now, our system does notify you on those things, but there are a lot of different things that you need to do. Can you have a checklist, Scott? Can you have a checklist automatically added to an event? Yeah, every single event type, every single party type, every single product has the ability to have a checklist item based on it. So you can have, every time you add a pizza, there's another checklist item that gets added to make sure you've ordered the pizza. Every time, you can have 5 checklist items for the paintball package, because you need to know, this, and this, and did you tell them these policies? So there's a lot of control. We're trying to make it idiot-proof so your staff know, I should have done these 10 things. Did I do them or did I not do them? And who did them and when did they do them? Because with our checklist, you have to mark it off to identify that you've actually done it. One of the questions, how do you request waivers to be activated in your center? Is there additional costs? Yeah, you can definitely reach out to the support or the sales team. We can get you to this. There is a little additional cost to that, but we can go through that with you. You just have to request it from us, and we can show you kind of how it works and take you through the online waiver system, and kind of get you signed up to get you scheduled in. Let's see. Another one about online coupons, gift certificates. Now, you can do gift cards through Mercury if you wanted to sell the gift cards, and then you can fill those gift cards. So if you use Mercury Payment Solutions with our system in the U.S. or Canada, in fact, actually, Mercury gift card can be used anywhere in the world. So if you wanted to use Mercury, they have customers in UK and Australia. You can just use them as standalone anywhere in the world and actually assign gift cards that can be used through our system for people to buy and sell goods through it. Can we add our social media icons to your booking pages? That's a good question. You can. You can add any sort of, text links you want, and pictures and that kind of stuff. The only concern you have to make sure is that you don't want to distract from the booking process. You don't want to put a social media icon or something in the middle of there and then have it jump off that page as they're booking. So you'll notice as we go through, we jump out of your website and we don't really have any links to get you out of the booking process. You got to say, I'm done, I want to quit, because we don't want them jumping off. We want them laser focused on finishing that booking and giving us that money. So if you want to put those social media icons or links, I would suggest you put that on what we call the confirmation page. So you can, again, use those text sets that we have that let you put any text, pictures, or links on any page, and you can put those at the very end and say, hey, click here to, like us on Facebook or something like that. So you could definitely do that. You just want to make sure you don't have them jumping off. So now, can we send an automatic thank you after the event? The system, again, there's a lot of things that we're working for automatic emails. It doesn't currently send a thank you, but it does automatically send invoices out when they do book the party. And from there you can put whatever you want on those as well. So there's different ways to send emails out. Most of the people, what they'll do is they can run our customer report, and they'll add those customers into their email marketing program. So we have downloads that you can download and enter them right into the email marketing system. So it looks like those are most of the questions we have on here, but I wanted to just kind of finish it up. I appreciate you guys, coming onto this webinar, so we basically, let your customers know you have online booking. Get it on your website. Get it anywhere there's a picture, a link, an email, a form. Make sure you put it on your website. Upsell during the booking process. Make sure to get those products in there so they can see it. I know it sounds simple, but you don't even want to know how many people use our system and don't do that. They all say, yeah, it's a good idea, but they don't put the pictures. They don't put the details in there. So it's really important, and there's a significant uptick in sales when you have those pictures. Show the pictures. Simplify the process and avoid confusion, right? Don't put a million things on there. Laser focus it to the specific types of events you're selling, and the big one is upsell after the fact. ask them, did you have any questions on our add-ons page? You know, did you see the princess tiaras we had on there? They're great for 7-year-olds, you know, that kind of thing. And then take a deposit, seal that deal. Thank you so much for joining us, and have a great day.
If you are an existing Party Center software client and you have questions or need assistance, visit help.partycentersoftware.com to submit a ticket or send an email to support@partycentersoftware.com. If you would like more information on our software and how it can help your business, fill out a demo request at www.partycentersoftware.com or send an email to demo@partycentersoftware.com.